Y'all, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Rappers in My Backyard, the podcast that stays lit. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you had a great week because you know we got a great show. So today we are going to be rapping about Way You Move. And on the grill, we talking island music today. And you guys know I like rocking with a quote every time we do a show because it sets the groundwork for provocative and interesting conversation. So here we go. I get the highest when you're my pilot. And that quote comes from our special guest today. So let's talk, express, relate, connect with our special guest today. Johnny Brooks is in the backyard. What's up,
Yo,
Johnny?
what's going on? Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be on your show today, for sure.
Oh man, it's a pleasure to have you. So, everybody has been waiting for this moment, especially me. So, I want to just kick off with the questions and ask you what you've been up to.
Man, I just been, blessed to, be alive, wake up this morning, obviously, been just going after what I love the most, which is making music, I'm constantly making music in some form or some aspect of that world, which is like, making the beats or writing the music, coming up with choruses or coming up with ideas or skits for the next music video, working on the blog, maintaining the website, thinking about my next image or my next look as far as just visuals to put out to the to my audience, to my fans and whatnot. But primarily, I just released Quiet, which is my latest single. I'm very proud of it. I recorded it last year, but I was, a lot's been going on, and I was trying to find. I felt like the right time for me to, put it out to the world. So I chose to put it out on March 23rd. So that was almost, like over 2 weeks ago, less than a month ago. And I've been getting a lot of great feedback on it, and I'm happy with the lane that I'm like, molding myself into. I've been, singing, rapping and singing, but bouncing back from rapping and singing. I love rapping. That's like my passion is to rap. I can my wordplay is, I've been playing with words and writing music for a long time. But
Yeah, you
finding my
got
direction.
crazy bars, dude.
Thank you.
Crazy bars. And before you really get into detail about Quiet, because you know we got to specifically talk about that because it's just
Right.
so profound. So tell us how you got involved in hip hop and music, period. Let's talk about that so we can lay that groundwork for our audience.
My father is a musician himself. He's a reggae artist. He was the lead singer of his band in St. Martin, and he also founded built the first recording studio in St. Martin in 1984, the professional recording studio. It's an analog
Wow.
setup,
Mm-hmm.
and he based the infrastructure off of the studio that Bob Marley built in Jamaica, which is Tough Gong. So the same designers
Yeah.
that built Bob Marley's studio built my mother and father's studio in St. Martin. Um,
Wow.
right. So I grew up. My dad has been inspired by Bob Marley his whole life. So he's, that's been his kind of his idol and his inspiration throughout his musical journey. So I came into the picture and spent a lot of my days after school in the studio, listening to my
Okay.
dad and the band rehearse and record,
Mm-hmm.
and sat around his engineer, Adam from Jamaica, for the longest until I was old enough to start writing music. And you know, they they it's either we were at the house or at the studio, growing up. That's how it was.
Wow. Wow.
So I
So
just grew up in that atmosphere.
I mean, growing up in that atmosphere, how was it coming from a musical family? What coming from a music family helped you to define who you were musically?
Had a lot to do with my brothers. So my
Mm-hmm.
half brothers, my dad's sons. Um, they were a bit, they're at least over 10 years older than me. And I would ride around with them in the car and they'd be playing DMX, Jay-Z, all the dudes that we look up to these days, like had the 50 Cents and these different guys that kind of like paved our way as far as identifying what classic hip hop is. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
these guys were being played in my ear from a young age. So I was listening to them because of that influence from my brothers riding around with me, saying, "Yo, John John." They call me John John. And be like, "Yo, John John, you
Okay.
want to go for a ride? Let's go." Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell Daddy we're going for a ride. So we go for a ride, and I'm in the passenger seat listening to these tracks, hearing them rehearse these songs. And I'm like, man, this is cool. So that inspired me, influenced me to jump into that world even more, even deeper than sports and basketball and soccer and baseball, which I played all those things. But music is what really spoke to me the most. You know,
Right, that's the thing that brought it all together. So you released your first project in 2018, Thoughts Never Die 2. Let's talk about how that came together. I mean, it has a blend of hip hop, it has a blend of your Caribbean influences,
mhm.
but it plays so well together. So let's talk about how it came together. Who'd you work with in order to bring all of those different elements, which are totally Johnny Brooks?
I man, I I collabed with two guys as far as like artists. Um,
Hmm.
but one was more of a producer that the way you move track that Young Ali is a producer. My friend met him in an Uber and he played the guy my songs and he's like, man,
You came out of
I'm
video
sorry.
for a
I'm
minute.
sorry
No
about that.
worries.
Yeah, he played the guy my songs and he said, man, I need to get in the studio with this guy. So we got in the studio, he played me this beat and I just went piece by piece with Young Ali on how to go about approaching the record. It took time doing it, you know what I mean? And we felt it out. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to put that on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah,
Um,
that's your phone ringing. Johnny Brooks in demand. Tell him to give me like 5, 10 more minutes. No.
no, I'm about to put this on Do Not Disturb right now. I'm sorry, I had to do that
All
real quick.
right,
Okay.
no
So yeah,
worries.
we worked organically with the track over time. So and it just came to fruition. The beat that took them some months to sculpt the beat how they wanted to, but my lyrics were already solidified, but they needed to
Uh
make
huh.
the record the way they wanted to make it to, fit the trajectory and the vision that they had in mind. So in other records, I knew these guys for a long time, the producers. We
Mm-hmm.
are good friends, so we work organically, and our chemistry just allowed the records to flow nicely and
Yes.
effortlessly. Um, and another artist that I work with, anyone that I worked with on that project, I really knew them
Mm-hmm.
on a personal level. So we were
Wow,
able to
you
just
can
connect
tell that.
deeply. Hmm.
Yeah, you can tell that. And I wanted to ask you, I mean, the name of the project, Thoughts Never Die. Talk to me about that because you're such a deep thinker in your lyrics and the way you present your music. So I know Thoughts Never Die means something.
Right.
What's up with that,
So,
Johnny? What did it mean?
well, Thoughts
What
Never
does it
Die was
mean?
about, um, having something to live on past my lifetime, and
Okay.
the thoughts that I'm instilling in my music will be able to
Mm-hmm.
speak for me, speak volumes for me when I'm no longer around to speak for myself. It'll be able to live on through me. And
Yes.
our thoughts that we create in our minds, they're eternal depending on how we implement it into the world and how we share our message with the world or resonate with the people listening to us. It can leave an imprinted impact on people for the rest of their lives. So that's why I came up with the idea thoughts never die. In my music, they will never die. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. And the words and stuff that you use create such a beautiful picture of what our thoughts can ultimately be if we trust ourselves enough to be able to build on those thoughts,
Right.
you know. And there's one song in particular, because I know that you love Tupac,
Hmm.
and you did a song called Machiavelli, dude, that is
Hmm.
just like, to me, I mean, oh gosh, I mean, how much do you appreciate Tupac's music? Was this actually a tribute to him? Because you took his lyrical stance and the way that he attacks things, and the way he uses words to paint a picture, and
Hmm.
then just brought your own perspective to it, but it was still Machiavelli.
Mm.
So tell me about that, man. Tell me about that.
Unborn Child, Hellraiser, Ambitions of a Rider. You know, these songs. Um, you know, Last Motherfucker Breathing. There's a lot of records
Uh,
from Tupac that just touched me internally. That just I could feel his energy. You know, Tupac's energy was like a force to be reckoned with in my eyes. I just felt there was a rage about his energy, but not a rage, the uncontrollable rage. It was more of a rage that he directed and transmuted into his music. And I could feel
right.
it. Hellraiser was one of those big records for me that I would put on and just feel unstoppable. And I could just feel, and I would just use that energy that he, transmuted in his music and transmute that energy into mine. I felt like he was one of the best artists that was able to do that. And
Yes.
I could feel it. I didn't have to think about it. You could just feel it. You know what I'm saying? And um,
Yeah.
Machiavelli was just one of those records. Hennessy, my choice of liquor. God forgive me for my enemies. Forgive me, I'm for my sinners. I'm ready for anything or anybody. So it was just like that same frequency that Tupac would emulate, or he would exude. That frequency is
Yeah.
what I was just embodying in that song. I'm ready for anything or anybody. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? And that feeling is like a liberating feeling, a feeling that creates a fearlessness within you, especially
Yes.
in the cutthroat industry that we're subject to as artists.
Yes, talking about cutthroat, there's a line that you have in Machiavelli, and it says, you are grinding, you know what I mean? You
Hmm.
starving on the track, is
Right.
what you say. And it's funny. I like the way you play with words, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because starving on the track, when I heard that, I said, you know what? That means he's hungry. That means that he is so hungry that he's willing to feed off of himself. You
Right.
know what I mean? That's how deep it was. It was almost as if like you were feeding off yourself in a way that exuded that same energy that Tupac had. Because I believe
Hmm.
he fed off of himself. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And he had allowed us to eat off of him in a sense. And that's
Totally.
what you do in your music, man. You feed us and then you allow us to eat off of you because you're so vulnerable, you
Absolutely. I
know?
I I uh I totally agree. And if I don't leave the studio exhausted, if I don't finish my day off writing feeling drained and like just energy completely depleted, I know I didn't give it my all. You know what I mean? I do
Right.
that knowing that I'm going to be feeding the audience and giving everything I got inside to them in order to replenish whatever they might be lacking in their lives or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Not to say
Yes.
they can't fulfill it on their own, but I'm grateful to be an asset to them filling up their cup again. Because we all gotta
Right.
refill our cups and we all gotta boost ourselves up, big ourselves up. So
Yes. And
music is a powerful tool to do this, to do that, and I'm
yes.
grateful to be a contribution to people in that regard.
And you definitely are. And you
Uh,
coming from a musical family and background is the reason why you know how to use all of your utensils to feed us. The
mhm.
fork, the knife, the spoon, the bowl. You have all those elements in your music. So,
Right.
Johnny, let's go, man. Let's go with your
I
stuff
appreciate
here.
that, man.
So, I want to take it to the grill, man. So let's take it to the grill. Let's burn some
Let's
stuff
go.
up here. Let's burn some stuff up, man. Because I want to talk to you about island music
Okay.
because it's like you can bring that dynamic to not only me but to our audience today, because I'm not as familiar with island music as you are, but I would love to have you educate not only me but also the audience. What is island music, and how important is it, being from that background, born in the islands, how
Hmm.
important is it to create music that reflects you in the
Hmm.
process?
So island music is reggae, right? Island music is dancehall. Island music
Okay.
is calypso. Island music is this carnival energy, and that frequency is, it has that Caribbean flair to it. Right now, island music is Afrobeat, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
So we all are mixing into this melting pot of different types of genres that I just stated as far as Caribbean music. And then,
Mm-hmm.
when you insert hip hop into the mix, it creates this flair that, St. Martin might not have been aware of. That's why I like to insert myself as a hip hop, the asset to the islands as far as a hip hop head or a hip hop. Um, I bring hip hop to the table
Mm-hmm.
just so that people in my on my island and the people in the Caribbean know that we're not capped in the Caribbean. Like, there's rap in the
Right.
Caribbean, there's hip hop in the Caribbean, there's people out there with insane skills as far as bars and lyrics and understanding the history of hip hop and how it came to be
Mm-hmm.
outside of the United States, and there's a love for it there. Just like I said, I grew up around my dad was into Bob Marley, and he played reggae in my ears growing up my whole life. But once I heard that Biggie and Tupac and Nas and Jay-Z, I was sold. It didn't matter.
Yeah, you was
So
sipping on it at that point. You know what I mean? But, I know that you don't want to, your dad has done some tremendous music as far as it refers to island music. I at least know that part of it.
mhm,
And I know whenever you grow up in a music family and things like that, it seems that the focus is on, you don't want to like get no accolades from your dad, no accolades as far as somebody giving you credit or giving you a
mhm,
way out. You are standing on your own. You are
totally.
standing on your own. So when we talk about island music, you were saying calypso and all those different types of island music. What is the difference between the two? Is it an instrument? Is it a feel? Talk to me about that a little bit.
Calypso is more of a carnival style music, like a genre. When we play, calypso, we're usually dancing and walking through the streets in a parade, dressed up in
Okay.
our island attire as far as like our costumes and whatnot. Um,
Hmm.
Dance hall and reggae is more rooted from Jamaica and places such as that.
Hmm.
Calypso, it's definitely rooted within the roots of St. Martin and the roots of neighboring islands and Trinidad and places such as that, where where
Okay.
um where carnival is very prevalent. Carnival parades and the carnival culture. Um, one is just totally. I feel like Calypso was way more upbeat and
Hmm.
quicker and more of a style and a culture where people are celebrating, um, you know, that carnival um, background, that carnival lifestyle,
Hmm.
where people are dancing and grinding and like it's just a very upbeat genre compared to where dance hall and reggae are more of a calmer, a slower paced vibe, and the culture is more um, I don't know, dispersed throughout the Caribbean. They're both very dispersed throughout the Caribbean. They both rule the Caribbean, I would say,
Being
as far as reggae and calypso, you know. But
right.
different people are attracted to it for different reasons.
So the
Um,
dance hall version is actually like hip hop because they be coming through the woo woo. You know what I'm saying? On some like, real hard, like we love to do in hip hop, show that
mhm,
hard side and couple with that great music, that
mhm,
reggae feel,
right,
those two work so well together.
totally.
That
No,
dance
I
hall,
totally
yeah.
agree.
I love it.
Um, so I've never really dabbled into, you know, doing that type of genre and whatnot, but I'm looking forward to, you know, mixing my hip hop and my, you know, my Afrobeat style music that I'm creating right now, melodic rapping with, you know, local artists that have that swag as far as dance hall and reggae and whatnot, and see how I can we can be cohesive and work together and make something awesome. I'm right now working on you know, like the melodic rapping, like what you're hearing in Quiet. That's kind of what I'm
Yeah.
focused on, and if I can, you know, mesh with somebody, you know, from my island, I'm more than happy to, you know, give it a shot so that we can mix the worlds into, you know,
Yeah,
into each other.
man. I would love to hear that. And you know what, Johnny? I think we blazed Allen music. You guys know the choices, you know the voices, so support Allen music. And
Yeah,
let's
for
take
sure.
that off the grill, baby. We burnt that one up. Let's take it out. Let's take it out. I want to talk about this quiet. Let's be completely quiet.
Quiet
So
was an
we could take
interesting
that island music off of there and keep rolling with the questions. So let's talk about your current single, Quiet. What made you, first of all, do that song? And secondly, what made you make it into a lyric video?
mm. So we Rico Santana is the producer on this record. He's from Virginia.
Okay.
One of the most amazing producers I ever met in my life. He, you know, flew into LA when I was living in Los Angeles, and
Mm-hmm.
I met him through a great friend of mine named Sekou, and we sat down and we talked about, you know, what makes sense as far as us working together, and we decided we were going to work organically, and I wasn't going to write music on the spot with him. I was just going to freestyle, and we would go
Wow.
through records, you know, and I would freestyle them. We get through a couple records in maybe 2 hours. We would dedicate
Mm-hmm.
maybe 2, 3 hours each session to put out some at least 4 or 5 records,
Mm-hmm.
improvising and whatnot. And one session, me and him were sitting down and sticking to the script. And he put the song on. Look. He was in the seat and he looked back at me like, and I looked at him. I said, oh shit, here we go. This is something big. I can feel it. You know,
Yes.
when artists know and the producer knows that we, this is a special situation. It's a special feeling. So I just went off the dome and I just started going. And I looked at him and he was like, keep going. I said, all right, and just keep going. And that's what happened. I kept going and just let it flow. It all
Mm-hmm.
came very organically. I didn't think about
Wow.
it much. It took us
Wow.
very little amount of time to create to record it. I went through
I
it,
wouldn't
and
have
then he
never
said, "Go
guessed it.
back, fix this up. Go back, fix that one up. Fix this one up. Redo that piece." But we just stuck to what I did organically, and Quiet came to be what it is. And you know, it's just
Wow.
about. And then the story obviously came about after the fact. I stuck to it while I was improvising and just going off of what I was feeling. But it's just about a girl gone quiet, or you know, a partner gone quiet with somebody that they used to have something special with, and you know,
Yeah.
the guy can't find it anywhere else. And he's been working, he's been grinding, he's been on the road. She's been trying to stay into the picture, but after a while, she just goes quiet, and he's just like, "Okay, where'd you go? Like, you've
Yeah.
been hiding. You brought me to the highest that I've ever been. You're my pilot." You know what I mean? So it's like, where my pilot go, basically. You know, it's just like, where, you know, that happens a lot in our lives. You know, people end up going
Go
quiet. So it's
quiet.
just something, a way for us to reflect on that, you know?
Yeah. And you know what? It's so timely because I just really think that now it's just best to keep quiet and allow
Mm,
ourselves to heal ourselves internally instead of trying to make an opinion on somebody else's life where they're at
mm,
right now, because I mean the mental health is real to us on all levels. So when I listened to Quiet and I seen the lyrical video, I just thought it was so stimulating. I wasn't
mm,
fighting with anything. I felt that I had an opportunity to put my mind and my spirit at ease. And
mm,
so that's why that's a hit, because
mm,
we need to stay quiet so that we can move forward. We need to stay quiet quiet so that we can take advantage of situations and circumstances. You
That's
know what I
beautiful.
mean?
Hmm.
And that's why that quiet is going to be on go for Johnny Brooks. Because,
Thank you.
dude, we need that so bad, man. We are the state of the world. We need some inner peace. And you guys need to check out Johnny Brooks Quiet so you can get a piece, a taste, an example, a chew of what it is to be able to just sit there and deal with that product and that person called you. You know what I mean?
That's
Because
right.
it definitely makes a difference. And I want to ask you, Johnny Brooks, tell us something about you that we don't know.
Something
Give me
about me.
something.
I'm I'm an empath. I'm an empath, which means that I pick up on energies around me very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, you know, my music is a feeling. Um, the way I respond to things around me, I feel it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really a gut feeling type of guy. Um, I'm a real listen to your instinct type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's how quiet came to be. That's why I'm on this journey. I just listen to my gut, listen to my vision that's telling me, um, you know, do it this way or do it that way, and I just try to focus on my inner self, and that just made me very intuitive. I'm an intuitive guy. I'm intuitive individual. So maybe people didn't know that, but now they know.
Yeah. I mean, I felt that, because very seldom, as you take a journey through people's music, like I said, and I've listened to all of your music, and
Mhm.
each
Thank you for that.
song, it just gave me something different. It was like me and you were on vacation together, and you were
Yeah.
just taking me to different places in your head,
Mm,
and you were taking me there, and I totally understood it. So that means that your intuition and your gut and everything is so in line with what you're supposed to be in the universe, and that's why it was such a gift to be able to speak to you today because I mean, your energy just transcends, and I appreciate it. I mean, we're Zoom right now, and when you come to LA, you got to come by and see me.
that's
But
without question.
yeah, but I can still feel you, man, and it's just such a awesome thing, and because I can feel you so much, I know our audience can feel you so much. So I have to ask you, how can we follow your movement? Tell them about your website and all the great things that you got going so we can keep up with Johnny Brooks.
Well, you just got to go to IamJohnnyBrooks.com. Everything, all my updates, everything I got going on, and all my new releases, anything that's going on with Johnny Brooks today, in the past, you'll be able to find on www.IamJohnnyBrooks.com. My Instagram is I am Johnny Brooks. My Twitter is I am Johnny Brooks. My YouTube is I am Johnny Brooks as well. YouTube.com/ I am Johnny Brooks. You'll find me. You just look up I am Johnny Brooks anywhere, everywhere. You'll find me.
Yes, indeed. And you know what? Let's go back to the quote. I mean, this quote came from you, so how beautifully can we say it? I get the highest, Johnny Brooks, when you're my palette, when you were on the mic, when you have on quiet. I mean, this is what came from that song to me is that, I get the highest when you're my palette. And
Mm,
I think that set up everything, our conversation, and we just got high together without even lighting anything up. So that's the best
absolutely.
one. So you know what? Thanks so much, you guys, for tuning in today to Rappers in My Backyard. Y'all know we keep it lit back here. And make
Always.
sure that you guys subscribe, like, comment to our channel. We're trying to build here. We plant seeds here. Y'all see us grow here. So I need y'all to go there and subscribe and hit the bell. Stop playing with me. And I want to say thank you so much to the amazing, very talented writer. I mean, this guy, y'all see him right there. Johnny, thank you so much for coming on the show today, man. We sincerely appreciate you and know you're going to do big things, man. You're just a gift. You a
I
gift, man.
appreciate you. Thank you so much, Lisa. Thank you for having me. Anytime, anytime.
Yeah, I'm gonna have you back, man, after Quiet go all the way up. Okay?
Yes,
You gonna
yes,
have to
ma'am.
promise to come back. And to our audience, I can't wait to talk, express, relate, connect with you next week. You know what we do. We got Johnny Brooks too, and we keeping it quiet because we out. Love you guys. Mwah!
Love y'all.
Stay with me for a minute, Johnny.